Yo, 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 what is going on, people? Welcome to another episode of Throwdown. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez,
What's up, people? How's it going?
Carlos Romero,
Yo, yo, yo.
and Richard Bailey Jr.
What's up, everybody?
All right, we are here for a Thanksgiving Day special, even though it's not really special. It kind of is, kind of isn't. So, like we said last week, basically, this week, no numbered episodes because the Game Awards decided to do their shit on the second week of December, which would have made that the last episode of the year for Throwdown. We can't have that. So I was like, just to get the numbers matching, we either need to take a week off or just do an unnumbered episode. So that's what we're doing. Because the last time this happened was in 2019, but the Game Awards actually did have its episode on the first day of December. So we just took 3 weeks off concurrently, you know? And here's the interesting: when we were discussing this episode, we were like, we don't know what we're going to do because typically on Thanksgiving, there's not a lot of news. So we're like, okay, we could do some like holiday themed stuff. Nope. This week was fucking busy. This is one of the busiest news like weeks ever for 3 days, bro. So this is gonna be just a regular show without the number. Basically, a lot of shit happened this week. I even had to drop stuff off the docket here. I'm like, this is a lot of fucking news, you know. No megatons per se, but everything's interesting regardless. And let's start with the funniest one. You. And this is real. This is not a fucking like a rumor. This is true. Ubisoft wants Steam to remove concurrent player counts. This is a thing for Steam. So basically, one company wants to change things for the entire game industry, basically. You know? So it's like, it's just insane. But obviously, this stems from the fact that a lot of Ubisoft games have not been doing so well on Steam. You know, Star Wars being the latest one, and Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to be the upcoming one. That the concurrent player count kind of shows that players ain't playing these fucking shitty games.
I think the thing about it is that like when these games sort of crash and burn, they still want people to not, some people, a lot of people don't look at these things, right? When they buy it, look at it like reviews or whatever, and like, oh, hey, look, it's a Star Wars game. But now if you look to see on there, you're like, well, hey, wait a minute. Not a lot of people are seen to be playing this. There must be something wrong with this.
Yeah, and here's the interesting thing, Manny. You know who noticed this? Who's really mad about this? Ubisoft shareholders. They're like, why the fuck is the concurrent player count so low? Basically, they want to hide this, not only from the customers who may be duped, but they're trying to hide this from their shareholders because their shareholders are asking, why the fuck aren't people playing these games? You know?
Yeah, you spent all this money on a Star Wars franchise, and we thought, oh, hey, this was supposed to be a big deal. What's going on, guys?
Yeah.
No, makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's also I would say it's also disingenuous.
It is.
To be honest, like the shareholders should be, the fact that these guys are talking about hiding these numbers, this also hides it for their shareholders, which means that they might be sugarcoating a lot of their untruth, behind the scenes. Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of deceptive play going on with a lot of these companies, when it comes to their numbers and something like that. Like I'm gonna ask the question, like if you're a Microsoft investor, do you know how the Xbox division is doing? Do you know how much because if you look at the numbers there, you can't find it.
Yeah, technically me and Carlos are Microsoft investors.
You know? Yeah.
Where the numbers at, Brad? But go ahead, Carlos. What's up?
Yeah.
But like 99% of Microsoft investors, most people don't care about Xbox. It's all about the other
stuff.
Yeah,
because they're making millions. They're making the millions off of the other thing. So that you have that lovely smokescreen of the other part of Microsoft essentially hiding the other stuff behind the scenes. But any investor could literally see, like, okay, if you're supposed to be profitable, why the fuck did you just fire a bunch of people from all of your different divisions if you're supposedly doing so well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this. I feel like doing this and, doing all of this would be really, really redundant. Because most people can't even see the play counts anyways because they're so low.
Oh, damn! That's true.
So it's just one of those things.
Yeah. By the way, Carlos, 834 was the highest player count.
Damn, man.
Just a little bit better than Concord.
It's just a little bit. It's just 800 better than Concord.
Yeah, actually, Concord was like 600, so like 200 more people. Wow.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's like incredibly like audacious of them to demand, not demand, obviously, ask this of Steam. Change the entire way you do things so people don't know how shitty our games are. That's wild, bro. What's your take on that?
It's just one of those things where you can see the desperation. This type of transparency is good for the consumer. It's good for shareholders. It's good for consistency. It's good for seeing the longevity and health of video games. And by doing this, it just shows that you have no confidence in the numbers that your games are producing. I just don't see any other reason why they would ask for this.
Yeah, that's what it is. They no confidence. They want to hide shit not only from the players, from their shareholders. And I just think it's insane that they would even ask this. It's like this company is not going to change their policies just for one fucking studio. And it's not like Ubisoft has so much clout, because
Right.
Come on now. It's like you're the studio on the decline right now. No one's going to take this shit seriously. But Rich, what do you think? Do you think Steam will comply?
Absolutely not. Let me just say this. I don't know who the shareholders think they are where they can make these type of demands. They're the ones that decided to invest in Ubisoft. So if anything, they need to really be pushing Ubisoft to just make their games better.
Yes.
I don't think it's them making the demand that Ubisoft.
Yeah, it's Ubisoft. The higher ups are making a demand. Their shareholders are just going, "Why is this game not selling? Why?"
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, basically, remember this is public knowledge, so the shareholders saw this like, this is Star Wars. Why isn't no one playing this shit? So then Ubisoft was like, "Oh, why don't we just hide this?"
Well, the other thing is this game recently came to Steam. Yeah. It didn't launch when the game initially launched, and again, that's a problem that I think Ubisoft needs to really fix as far as when they decide to launch these games. It should also be on Steam. The same issue happened with the Prince of Persia game that came out earlier this year. That wasn't on Steam either. So they really should focus on releasing these games concurrently across, whether it's Steam, PC, or console at the same time, because people probably have already experienced the game on console, or they didn't like it, so they really probably not really that interested in picking it up on Steam. And the other side point I will add is our very own Mr. Adam Vale is currently playing this game, and he had a goal of playing it on Steam Deck. The game does not perform well on Steam Deck whatsoever.
Uh-oh.
So that right there is a problem, because we spoke about this earlier. So yes, they really do need to focus on making sure this stuff is going to work, especially in the case of this game, because it's already been out for a while. So I would think if it's coming to Steam, hopefully they should try to make sure it is also Steam Deck compatible to a certain extent. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah. But no, I agree, man. It's like this just reeks of desperation, and it's pathetic. It's pathetic, We can't go 1 week without talking about Ubisoft L's, bro. It's hilarious. All right, man. Let's move on. Now this one's interesting because and this is something we reported on, how Sony wants to buy the company that owns From Software. A report from Bloomberg came out saying that basically the company wants Sony to completely buy them out. Like Sony, they were thinking like maybe they just want to buy the game division, maybe just a couple pieces here or there. like apparently, according to the report, the company wants Sony to completely acquire the whole shebang. Manny, you kind of brought this one to my attention, so you could probably fill us in better than I can.
Yeah, I mean, in general, like what Sony was obviously Sony was wanted was because this company has a bunch of different arms, just like a lot of different things. And yeah, have a bunch of they own a bunch of IP. They not only own From Software, and they also own animation studios. So that's what they wanted. They wanted all of those things, and then just like to just toss whatever else out. But yeah, and in general, they're like, no, take everything. If we're gonna sell, we're gonna sell all of it.
Take it all.
I don't think to be honest, I don't know if Sony is in, and also they're also not the only people that were interested in also acquiring the studio.
Yeah.
There was also an interest from Microsoft as well. Again, because they want their boys From Software there, because that would be a huge feather in their cap on that one. And I forgot the other ones that were listed on there as well that were the interested parties. So
yeah, that part I don't know about.
Yeah, the thing that I sent you also had it had a couple of different other companies that were interested in them. Let's see.
I could read it, Manny. I got it.
Yeah.
Sony has been trying for many years. Very interesting. Initially, Sony was only fucking edit your shit, guys. Initially, Sony only wanted the anime and gaming division, but Kadokawa wanted them to acquire the whole company. Microsoft, Tencent, and Kadokawa also expressed interest in Kadokawa, but they preferred a local home country than a foreign entity, which makes sense.
Yes, of course. They would never sell to Microsoft, an American company.
Yeah. As we've discussed many times, whenever people go,
Yep.
"Oh, maybe Microsoft is going to buy Sega," and then we got to get Chris on here to explain all this, 50 times. But yeah, this makes sense. Kind of wild stuff. This is still a report, but here's the thing: the whole acquisition thing is real, but this specific part is just like a report, so we don't know for sure. But that's probably what it is. Hold on. Jay Shep, what's going on, brother? He goes, I'm confused. I know that it's hard for American companies to acquire Japanese, but Microsoft tried anyway. Yeah, they tried, but again, they probably got laughed out of the room, just like when they tried to buy Nintendo. I'm not making that up. They literally got laughed out of the room. Same thing with Square Enix when they tried to buy them. Mr. Brett Murdoch.
Yo.
What's going on, brother?
Cooking some Thanksgiving food.
There you go. Good stuff, man. Assyrian Networks, Kadokawa trust Sony over Tencent and Microsoft. Like I said, they prefer to be acquired by another Japanese company, not a foreign company. Yeah. So makes sense. We'll see. Go ahead, Ben.
In general, that we've always spoken about this. It is extremely rare if a company is ever acquired by a Western studio, like a Western company, like from Japan. They usually try to keep it in their own country. To be honest, I feel like the American company should do that more too, and stop selling off to other fucking countries and keep everything here in the States. But whatever, Yeah, and that's why they don't care about highest bidder. They care about their own. It's more nationalism and stuff like that. So the only a case I can see of where a Japanese studio was at some point owned by an American studio was Tango Gameworks.
Yep.
And even Tango Gameworks was originally just supposed to be a Japanese division. When they got acquired by Bethesda, they were just officially going to be just the Japanese division of Bethesda. They were going to be called, Bethesda Japan.
Yeah.
But, because of Shinji Mikami and, that studio's lineage, they decided to just essentially keep the same name.
Yeah. Squaresoft merged with Enix and Sega bought Atlas years ago. Yeah. And what's the common denominator? All Japanese.
All Japanese studios. Now here's
Don't forget about
here's the one
Sammy,
thing.
Sega Sammy. That was a thing too.
But
you know?
here's the thing. It doesn't affect it in reverse. So a Japanese studio will acquire a Western studio like what they did with Crystal Dynamics and
Yes.
and Eidos.
That's right. Yeah, because again, Western studios, they're like, okay, you can buy us, we don't care.
Yeah, whatever. You can buy us. But obviously, Square Enix had some buyer's remorse with that company, and essentially kicked them all to the curb. And they're now at Amazon, I think, right? They're Amazon.
I think so.
owned. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that why there's that shitty Tomb Raider show on Amazon now?
No, is it? It's Amazon. I thought it
Is
was
it
on
Amazon?
Netflix.
I could be wrong. Yeah,
I thought it was Netflix. Well, I
could
know.
be wrong.
I can't remember. But the one thing that those guys are doing is really cool. Is the remakes, the remasters that they're doing for those games. The Tomb Raider game's actually pretty good, and the Soul Reaver one is coming out real soon. And I heard they did a lot of nice work with that.
Yes, Manny, it is Netflix. All right, moving on here. This one is another report from Bloomberg. I think Jason Schreier's doing a lot of these reports himself. Okay, remember how we talked about how the PlayStation Portal was a toe dip, seeing how what the market would think of another PlayStation handheld without putting too many resources? Well, as we know, PlayStation Portal hugely successful despite the fact that it's crap. Now we're hearing a report that Sony is now interested in making an actual real handheld, but we're not going to see it for a few years, which is typical for Sony, right? Announce something and then you don't come out with it for years. But they didn't announce anything.
Well, they haven't announced anything yet.
But you know what I'm saying. Don't ruin the joke.
Yeah.
Tony got nominated for Best Adaptation for Tomb Raider. Yeah, whatever, man. Anyway, I'm gonna read this off the Verge here. Sony is currently making a new handheld, according to. Sony is currently making a new handheld gaming console that allows users to play PlayStation 5 games anywhere. According to Bloomberg, the console is being developed to compete against Nintendo and Microsoft in the portable gaming market, and it's likely years away from launch if Sony decides to release it at all. Nintendo is a leading figure in the handheld gaming industry with the next-gen successor with its popular whatever. Microsoft is thinking about its own handheld. Handheld gaming has grown. Yes, we know that. Sony's efforts to not be left behind would build on the PlayStation Portal. Yep. The 8-inch gaming device it released last year that wirelessly streams PS5 games from the cloud, but according to Bloomberg, was originally meant to function as a standalone device. I did not know that. The new device would allow games to be played natively rather than over Wi-Fi, potentially expanding Sony's audience and making its games more accessible. This isn't completely new territory. Vita, PS Portal, whatever. So yeah, again, we kind of called this. Go ahead, Brett.
When they say it's a thing that can play PlayStation 5 games portably?
Yeah, or allegedly,
Isn't that just called the Steam Deck?
Yeah. Yeah, but it would just have the Sony branding on it.
It would. I mean, the mistake that this writer made is the fact that they're trying to compete with Microsoft. Microsoft is not doing anything yet.
Yeah, they are. They're doing a handheld.
They got a handheld coming?
No, we've talked about that on the show too.
Oh, okay. Well, for Bison, it was Tuesday. Anyway, so I mean, to be honest, I would say the real competition is the Steam Deck, not Microsoft.
Yeah.
I would say that,
and technically, you could say all these Windows 11 handhelds are Microsoft if you think about it.
Yeah, those are Microsoft ones. But I would say that if they could possibly put something out that was along those lines, I would also say a smarter move too would also be allow the damn thing to play Steam Deck games.
Yeah, I don't know
if Steam was available on it, but they probably it's PlayStation.
It's a PlayStation thing. Remember, this thing's years out, so theoretically, the Microsoft one would be out by then as well. This isn't something we're going to see next year or the year after that.
Is that what the projections are?
That's
on
what they said. Years away.
Uh-huh.
I read that.
No, I'm talking about the Microsoft one.
Yeah, also years away.
Okay.
So very interesting stuff. But here's the thing. I do think that if a PlayStation Portable were to succeed, it can't have its own dedicated games. People want to play PlayStation games on the go. But will it succeed? I don't know. I can't say. It might, especially how handhelds are so big now. And again, the stupid Portal did so fucking well. And I still maintain that the reason that thing sold so well is because people thought you could play PlayStation games natively. But then again, once they bought the system, they were still happy with it. So maybe I'm wrong about that. But regardless, Sony has seen like, hey, this shit works. Maybe we should try it for real instead of the toe dip, So we'll see. Would anybody here buy this PlayStation Portable?
No.
I would say it would depend. Yeah. It depends on what it does. If it's just like if it ends up being like if it does all the things that it's supposed to do right, not using proprietary garbage from Sony, like the stupid discs. What are those things? The stupid
the UMDs.
Flash discs.
UMDs.
No, not well, not UMDs. The Vita used those dumb flash
drives.
Yeah, those flash flash
Pro Stick Duos.
That were, those Pro Stick Duo garbage things, which cost like an arm and a leg, which costs as much as buying a console to get a decent size for those games. I will hope that they would do something a little bit more universal. Like if this thing is able to play PlayStation 5 games, why couldn't you hook up your hard drive from that you have games on from your PlayStation 5, offload things off onto that way, or connect it to your console and pull off of that, or do any other way to get things on. Just make this thing as easy as it is as logging into your account and just downloading the games that you want to play. But Sony tends to sometimes function backwards.
If this thing, I just thought about this. If this thing releases "quote unquote" years from now, you're gonna be able to play PS5 games when the PS6 is coming out. And I don't think you're gonna be able to play PS6 games natively on this fucking thing. So they would have to be
unless they pull the same bullshit like they did this generation, where they're just literally shined up last generation games.
That is true.
In other words, it'll just play all the games.
That is true. Yeah, that is very true. But yeah,
I mean, old PC, and the Steam Deck also plays, gimped versions of all the games. Anyways, you're not playing those games at 60 frames per second all the time. You're not playing them with ray tracing and all that other garbage in there. So, you just get a slightly downgraded version of whatever game you're going to play. From
Carlos, right? You just put the sliders down, right? Carlos, he's not even here to get the joke. Anyway, right, yeah. So we'll see about this. So again, Sony may decide, we're not going to do it. Fuck it, All right, move on. This one's kind of funny, but I have to throw it in here because I have a theory. Rich, your boy Troy Baker will apparently be in the next Naughty Dog game. Very interesting.
Very shocking to hear this.
Very shocking. But there is one thing we can infer. They're not the next Naughty Dog game can't be The Last of Us because his character's dead.
Are you sure it's Naughty Dog? Are you sure it's Naughty Dog and not Santa Monica?
No, Naughty Dog. It says it right here.
Oh, okay. Because I could have sworn that Santa Monica was also working on some new IP too.
Oh yeah, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about Troy Baker and Naughty Dog game. But yeah. So not surprising. So here's my theory, right? Because I think this was announced to coincide with the Game Awards. So I think we may get to see this game at the Game Awards. I could be wrong about that, but put that into Miss Cleo hat. So this, my question is, because this is what the report also says, Because we've been hearing about a sci-fi Naughty Dog game for years, and it seems this could be it. The report didn't say that part, but a lot of people are speculating that, and I kind of agree. I think it might be it because again, they've been going down. Uncharted's pretty much in the closet right now. The Last of Us, it's an HBO show basically, so gotta have something new. So I think this is probably going to be it, and of course they're going to get Troy Baker. He's the new Nolan North. Even though I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up too. So again, I think we'll.
Don't they hate each other?
Do they?
Yeah, there was some sort of thing that they kind of got. Troy Baker doesn't like Nolan North for some reason. Something happened a while ago, so maybe you won't see Nolan North in there just for the plain fact he doesn't like him.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. This is an interesting quote. In June, Druckmann said Naughty Dog was looking to break away from being predominantly associated with The Last of Us. So this is what he says: "I promise you, we will not be The Last of Us studio forever." So that would kind of give more credence that this is going to be that new IP we've been hearing about. It's about damn time,
Well,
what's up?
I agree. It's about damn time. But I will challenge that statement because we have a Last of Us TV show, and they have been releasing remasters of this game and the first game this entire generation. So, yeah. I'm glad they are breaking away from The Last of Us, but I highly doubt that this is the end of The Last of Us. So I still expect them to do another game because I guess they figure there's more story to be told. So maybe at a later time.
Yeah. And I'm going to sneak this in real quick. I guess it's good that this sci-fi game may be coming because Casey Hudson's game won't be coming out at all. For you guys who may not know, Casey Hudson, one of the original people behind the Mass Effect, he started up a studio. That studio has now been shut down before they even release a single game. So you won't be getting that because he was working on a sci-fi game as well. Interesting stuff, All right, so that's a little bit of Sony news. We're going to come back to more Sony. A lot of Sony news this week for whatever reason. All right, so some interesting news. Carlos, are you back now? I don't know if he is or not. There he is.
Yo.
Cyberpunk, man. 30 million copies sold, son.
Oh, dude.
That's a lot. That's pretty impressive.
It's crazy, man. It just feels nasty seeing those numbers because it was simultaneously one of the best games I've ever played and one of the biggest shams I've ever played.
Yes. Yeah, again, that trailer that we first saw, that game is not like that, But yeah, no, that's still probably the most immersive game I've played this generation, man. I played it 3 times already. It's that fucking good, So I'm not surprised by this. And obviously, this game had the huge rebound after the anime dropped. Everybody, it was a concurrent thing. It was like a perfect storm. Anime drops, the game just so happens to be in a good state. Bam, through the roof, and then the fucking DLC drops, which is also dope. Oh, and apparently, Carlos, what is it, 8 million? It sold the DLC, it's a lot.
Yep,
it was a lot. And then don't forget the Throwdown Draw stream with Cyberpunk.
We did our part too.
We did our part.
Yeah, that was you, Manny. Thank you. You get CD Projekt Red. So thank you for that. So.
Where's your yellow chair?
So,
where's my yellow chair?
Oh,
there was a point when people were ashamed of their yellow chairs, and they were selling them off and hiding them in the background in their closets. All of a sudden now it's all good, right? I could have got one for cheap.
Get on eBay, buy one. Imagine you had that on every stream. That'd be hilarious.
This giant, stupid, ugly yellow chair. Ugh. Some people got their names on it too.
Oh, they did.
They had their name. Really? They had their little name or their tag embroidered on it. So
imagine Manny goes on eBay, he buys one, and he sees it, Yang, yeah.
Yeah, it says Yang, yeah, or it says Paris Lily on it. Actually, no. It would because it said it would say his
Vicious
it would say his screen name, so it'd be
Vicious 69. What's it? I forget. Yeah. But yeah,
it'd be that.
That's funny, man. Vicious
Young
696. Yeah, young out. You know.
Yeah, he got one of those.
We got to get Adam a Call of Duty chair over to get the duty. You know, so
Gotta get the buddy chair.
yeah, and also
I mean, I
related.
already got me a Streamlabs chair.
There you go. And also related news, The Witcher 4 is now in full development. So I'm pretty sure Brian's excited about that, you know?
So, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Oh.
So, now that we have established that Cyberpunk is phenomenal, it's a great game, now it's fixed, are we going to give CD Projekt a pass with Witcher 4, or should we still be concerned now to see how Witcher 4 turns out?
Yeah, no, we gotta be skeptical. Gotta be skeptical. You never know.
It's always the reset button. They need to at least do 3 more things after this in order to account for for what they did.
And The Witcher 4 is already kind of questionable because Geralt won't even be in it. You know.
Rich, let me ask you: Do you want to play it at launch or 4 years after launch?
That's a good
question. That is a phenomenal question. It definitely won't be a launch based on what happened with Cyberpunk, because that was not a good experience. So it would have to be some time later.
That is funny. Brett, what's your take on this?
So I got distracted on what now?
Cyberpunk selling 30 million copies.
Like fucking that is tits. That is insane numbers. Good for them. It's I still maintain I don't think it was an act of malice. I think they just straight up bit off more than they could chew. They thought this was going to be the next GTA. They were going to do a big online mode, and then they just found out that it was fucked from the ground up because they were building their own engine and they just did not have it down. I guess I'm not really sure exactly what happened there, but it may have been mitigated by moving to Unreal. It may not have. But they just bit off more than they could chew. Eventually, they had time to go back. I mean, they always had time. The problem was, like, honestly, asset mismanagement. It was thinking, I had all the runway in the world, so you're not doing dick, and you spend, like, 5 to 6 years in the planning phase before you even launched on the goddamn development. So it was just the perfect storm. It was announced too early. It was started to work on too late. It launched too broken, but it ended up too good, and that's why it sold 30 million copies. Because today's day and age, games stick around a lot longer than they used to. Especially now that consoles they're not really doing the same thing that PC does, because PC you can just be like, I'm just gonna get a little bit better graphics card. Now my games look a little bit better. For consoles, you just have to buy the game again after buying a new console, which sucks. But
Brett, I need to look this up, but I still think Cyberpunk probably still sold more on PC in the end. I think it absolutely did.
Yeah. And I think that at least has something to do with PC gamers have longer memories for games, right? They're perfectly happy to play a 7-year-old game, a 13-year-old game. Something about the market with console games is it feels very transient. And to this day, I still don't know exactly why that is. It's just definitely a thing. Yeah. A month after you've launched your game, that shit is old news. Meanwhile, people are playing Civ 3 on their PCs. So it's just a different environment, man.
Dude, there's this one guy I've been following on Twitter like forever. Really great guy. Death Strike Virus. My man is still playing the original Unreal, bro. Like, he's still on it. Unreal Tournament, he's still playing that,
See?
So,
and the games are supported longer, too, because you can get a graphics card, then you're like, oh, check it out. My game looks better. And they come out with content. Like, it's so hard, I guess, to get updates and patches through PlayStation and Xbox or whatever. It just seems fucking ridiculous, but games live forever on PC, which is one of the reasons I'm so excited for Path of Exile 2, is that I'm gonna play that shit on PC. It's gonna be so good. I got shit to say about that too, but we can wait. We can wait on that.
Yeah. No, and Brett, to your point, obviously all the cool mods the PC community has done for Cyberpunk, that has helped as well.
Well, I mean, you honestly cut into like a concerted, an effort to fix the things that the developers didn't manage to or have time to. And honestly, outsourcing to a community is incredibly powerful. Like, it's people who do shit for a hobby often do shit really, really, really well. Like, there are like, single players or couple small man teams that are we're rebuilding entire old Fallout games and new engines and shit like that. So it's if you are, I mean, Bethesda, half of their games are just fixed on PC by the community.
Yep.
So it's if you can open yourself up to that, I think leveraging your community is an incredible asset. I think it's one not all developers are interested in leveraging, but I think it's absolutely great. But kind of back to the question, like, fuck yeah, like 30 million. I think by the time their big DLC came out, it was in a good state, and that I think was really important because they didn't ask for more money until they had fixed it. I think that meant a lot to people. I think if they had come out with that while it was still kind of in shambles, people would have been super pissed.
I'm really glad you bring up that point. They didn't charge you anything more after that. Like the DLC, I think they did, but it was very modest. But all those fixes and stuff, it was just like, guys, we fucked up. You don't got to pay for any of this.
Yeah, they fixed everything before they asked for any more money from the DLC, and the DLC was like $20-$30. It was reasonably priced, especially for the amount of stuff that it added. And I've had nobody complain about the value for the money on the content. Like it all seems to line up and be directed towards making their fans happy. So let's hope
imagine that
continues that way.
pleasing the fans. I wish some companies would remember that shit.
Bro, I right, and I think that's fucking hilarious because I was just watching some of the live stream and from the interview on PoE. Those motherfuckers aimed their goal when they started was an audience of 10,000, and they said if we can keep those 10,000 people happy, we can stay afloat.
Yeah,
and that's kind of been their business model, to keep their core audience happy. And what do you know? Seems to be working.
Yeah, because then you'll have those 10 advocates going out there telling everybody about the awesome game they played,
Yep.
Yeah. It would be nice if Obsidian remembered this. And Brad, I don't know if you've been seeing this Avowed stuff.
Oh, bro, boy. What the, dude, just shut your mouth. Just shut your goddamn mouth. Like, why do you all just wait? Like, I swear to God, you're trying to fucking sabotage by opening your goddamn mouth, like, just a couple, like, in a 5-year-long development. You get to the tail end of like 3 months before your game comes out, you're like, hey, let me say the most jackass thing I can think of. Like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah, it's like, dude, shut up. Just sell your fucking game.
Stop with your, like, I'm just hoping that he's a minor voice in the game, because, like, I haven't had beef with Obsidian before, so if this is when it happens, this will be the first time, and it'll honestly be a really sad day.
Yeah, and also now the account is also blocking fans that are questioning.
Of course it is. Well, you can't have people questioning you in your echo chamber. How is it supposed to echo properly?
Oh man, true. Anyway, good on you, CD Projekt Red, and we'll see about The Witcher. But I agree, don't give them a pass. We gotta wait and see, because Brett, you're probably right. The game will probably be awesome 2 or 3 years after it dropped. People forget that The Witcher 3 wasn't all that when it first dropped either. It took a while for it to get good, Hey, Manny, what were you saying?
I said the big difference between The Witcher, I would say, even though that was broken in the beginning, it was at a point where people could still play it and enjoy it. It wasn't. I don't think that Witcher was as egregious as Cyberpunk. No,
Cyberpunk was something else, man.
And I think in this situation they've opened multiple branches now. So now they have a Cyberpunk, studio that just handles the Cyberpunk games, and then their main studio does the Witcher shit.
Yeah.
So
good stuff. All right. Speaking about sales, Sony has now confirmed that the PlayStation 2 has sold 160 million consoles worldwide. Crazy. Because you got to remember,
took them long enough.
Yeah. Because remember, this thing is still selling in other countries, like brand new, So now this puts it, so the second console behind that, best selling is the DS, at 154, and behind that is the Switch at 146. So, and I wish Chris was here for that. For this, is like, could the Switch sell 16 million copies more? I'm not sure about that. And by the way, what I'm going to say now, please put it with the caveat that everything I've ever predicted about Nintendo has come out wrong. So please keep that in mind. I think now that people know a Switch 2 is coming, and we're probably going to get it in March, before the end of the fiscal year, and knowing Nintendo's tendencies to effectively kill the previous console, I don't think the Switch, the original Switch, could hit 16 million. I think it'll probably sell maybe another 6 million or so, but I don't see it happening. But again, who knows, bro? These Nintendo fans have always proven me wrong in the past. But either way, yeah, 160 million consoles, still the best-selling console ever. That's fucking incredible, man. And it's funny because some analysts, like, what's his face, that Chinese dude on Twitter, he made this prediction 10 years ago. But he was like on this day it'll hit 160 million. My man was right, Zhu GX. I call him Chinese because he has like the Romance of the Three Kingdoms little guy as his avatar, So he may not even be Chinese. Who knows? But it's interesting stuff. All right. But on the flip side, we have to talk about PlayStation flops. And Manny, you brought this one to my attention as well. Lego Horizon Adventures it sold it had a worse player count than Concord, bruh. Fucking insane.
Oh yeah, is that even possible?
Yeah, it is. It had a worse
Apparently
player
it's
count than
possible.
Concord on Steam. 602 players, Carlos.
Damn.
And it's
You
interesting.
got to try to not be that
You have to try.
significant.
It's funny 'cause with this game, I reviewed it. So did Rich. We actually reviewed it right here on Throwdown as well. We both said the game is good, but we also question, who the hell is it for? Is that for Horizon fans? Is that for Lego fans?
No,
It's
for Nintendo fans.
It's for Nintendo. Yeah, apparently they're buying it. Yeah, they're buying it.
Well, I mean, the crux of why this even exists is because the Horizon Lego figures, sets did well. So they extended that into making an actual game. Like there was some sort of interest in it, but I don't think the reason why that set did so well was because it was Horizon. I think it's because you had a fucking a Lego dinosaur, like a robot Lego dinosaur, which is pretty damn awesome on its own. Who cares about the little minifigures? You're getting a fucking dinosaur.
Yeah, that's a good point. By the way, thank you for adding context to it, because I didn't know about that Lego set. So yeah, it makes sense. Like, hey, this Lego set so well, let's make a video game. You're muted.
It makes sense from a business sense.
Yeah.
Like, okay, they thought, maybe there's some sort of interest in the general public in Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it's just because it was a damn cool like Lego set.
Yeah. To add on to what Manny said too, I believe the guy who worked on that set also, it was his idea to want to do some more with that. So that's why they were willing to get behind making this game.
Yeah, pretty crazy. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be the last Lego Horizon game. Probably won't get this. But yeah, because I'm like, if you wanted to do like a Lego version of a PlayStation IP, God of War makes more sense. But then again, there's no God of War Lego set. So until that happens, But yeah, I didn't realize that. Okay, now I understand why this game exists.
Yeah, they did a couple of different things. They made the long neck. They made the what's the panther thing that tries to kill you? The whatever the hell that thing is.
Yeah.
the Thanator or whatever the hell.
I don't know
called.
the names of these fucking things. I just call them dinosaurs.
I don't know. Whatever. It looks like it's like a saber-toothed tiger.
Yeah, I know
thing.
what you're talking about, but I don't know the names of these fucking things.
Yeah, and one of the dinosaur-looking ones. So, and it looks like they did the mammoth as well. They went in on these sets. Look at that. That's cool. But yeah, I think it's just because you're making a robot dinosaur.
Yep.
You know.
I mean, that's all.
Whatever.
That's all you need. You know.
I mean, the Lego fans are like those big sets that are all kind of elaborate, cool looking creatures and stuff. I mean, they wouldn't be continuing to make them if they didn't make any money, right?
Yeah. So they probably expected the people who bought the sets to buy the game. You know.
Exactly, but I don't think, to be honest, I don't think that it extended that far. I don't think they're like, oh my God, I'm such a big Horizon fan. I want to get this Horizon set.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with that. It's crazy. All right, so this one is kind of a flop, but I want to put the caveat that this is a rumor right now. This is not official, but enough people are saying that this is coming from a credible source, and now even bigger gaming sites are reporting on it, that I'm like, let's talk about this. I find this very interesting. So apparently, all future DLC for Mortal Kombat 1 has been canceled. WB said, you're done, And one of the reasons I believe this rumor is true, not only because apparently this guy who leaked this has had a good track record, specifically when it comes to NetherRealm shit, is because I kind of saw this coming. Like when this game dropped, it wasn't like well received because they made a lot of changes. And remember, we talked about this before. I was like, wait, why are you rebooting after Mortal Kombat 11 when that was literally the most successful NetherRealm game ever? Not only that, Mortal Kombat 11 was the second best selling fighting game of all time. The best selling one was obviously Street Fighter 2, right? So I'm like, why are you resetting shit? You're good. Just do more of that. But they reset everything. Rich, one of our favorite consulting companies, was also involved with this game, and they wanted some changes, to make it more palatable to quote unquote modern audiences. You have that aspect, and you have, let's just be honest, the bad game. Mortal Kombat games have never had the best gameplay, but this is like even worse than those. Very stiff. And then some DLC characters people don't really care about, and some other stuff. So I'm not surprised by this. But Rich, what's your take on this rumor?
Well, so first and foremost, like you said, it is a rumor. I actually reviewed Mortal Kombat 1, and I reviewed that expansion. I think it was back in September.
Yeah. What's it? Chaos Reigns, I believe it was called.
That's it. That's it. So one thing I said is, from a story, as far as the story content is concerned, I did enjoy it, but it did not feel like it was complete. So I think I came on here and I said I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to make some more story content. But the problem is this. So like you said, the way they framed Mortal Kombat 1, it is but this is pretty much that now this is Liu Kang's timeline. So it is a bit of a continuation of 11, because at the end of that game, you had a decision to make whether you were Shang Tsung or Liu Kang. If you won that fight, then you would end up taking over the timeline. So one thing I did like about Mortal Kombat 1 is that it was basically a reimagining of some of the characters, in terms of they made changes to the stories and how they became who they were. But the problem with this DLC, and again, they added 3 additional characters. Noob Saibot, okay, that's awesome, fantastic. But Cyrax and Sector,
very controversial.
Those 2 characters, they completely changed. First of all, almost they're females, so they could change them from what they really were. And I recall saying on here that on the last show that I don't like when they make changes to characters that they've already established. They're making certain decisions. But so I do think some of that came into play, because reaction character asked why were they changes? A bunch of videos. out at around the same time, basically going into the history of the characters and trying to understand why they were different for this game. And I understand the explanation from a storytelling standpoint, but I also understand that there were some other things involved with that entire process. One other side note I want to mention, you probably don't know this, Tony.
Yeah.
The character that plays Cyrax, the voice actress for that character is the exact same actress who is going to be the lead character in Yotai.
Really interesting.
Yes. And I know that that individual has said some stuff online people are happy about. So again, it's connected. It has that type of effect. But in terms of the decision to, if this is a rumor or, if it actually comes or not, they actually have a Mortal Kombat movie coming out next year. And I know that WB has said they want to double down on Mortal Kombat and Batman, so on and so forth. So I think they still should release the content if they are planning to. But other than that, I don't really know what else to say. I know I did get some other information as to what the DLC was, because that also came out as to what this other content was going to be. It was going to be 5 additional characters, Mortal Kombat characters, and 1 guest character. And of course, that probably won't happen now, but we'll see. I was seeing if I had the names of the characters. Okay, so they were.
Yeah, it was because like you said, Cyrax and Sector, Noob Saibot, Ghostface just dropped, and the 2 other ones that are still to come are Conan and the T-1000. Based on what the report says, those characters will still come out, right? But after that, we don't know. And just to add to what you were saying, WB said that Mortal Kombat is one of their core franchises. So I think what's happening is Mortal Kombat's not going away because this game is probably going to be done. And then they're just going to release another Mortal Kombat. Maybe
That's
another reboot. Who knows? So yeah, Rich, continue. I just wanted to get that in there. Say, we got Ghostface from the Scream movies, and the 2 to come are Conan the Barbarian, the Arnold version, and the T-1000. Why am I forgetting the motherfucker's name? Patrick. You know who I'm talking about.
Robert Patrick.
Yeah, Robert Patrick. Thank you. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Rich.
So yeah, no, you're 100% right. So according to the individual that leaked this information, they were going to release another combat pack. Now, that was going to include 6 characters, 5 Mortal Kombat characters, and 1 guest. The characters were going to be Jade, Cassie Cage, Kung Jin, Sonya, and Kano.
Okay.
And the guest character was supposed to be Ash Williams.
Interesting.
Because apparently they teased that this guy was going to be a part of these games too. So if that is indeed what the content was going to be and they cut it, well, I mean, I don't really have an issue with that. It is what it is. But I think what you said about them just moving on to another game makes sense. I just figured because they have that movie coming out next year, they're going to say, oh, we need to try to do something to get people to get back into the game. And I mean, obviously, the way that they release the characters, the schedule is always changing, but they're not going to be able to hold them characters off for that long because Ghostface just came out. I think the next character is coming out maybe in December or January. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see about that. But yeah, it's kind of wild. But I'm not surprised because I've been hearing. I don't play these games anymore. It's funny. I remember I reviewed Mortal Kombat 11, the last game that came out. I reviewed that. And that had been the first Mortal Kombat game I played since Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. So it was like 20 years or something. And I was like, oh, fuck, this game still controls stiff, just like the old Mortal Kombat. Like, they didn't change that shit. I figured they would have made them smoother or something. Apparently not. So... but I don't know, it's just weird because like Mortal Kombat is the best-selling, like you said, best-selling fighting game. Why would you fuck that up?
That's a great question. I don't know, but what I do know is, I don't know what WB has next, because these guys are not going to another game that fast. Guys, at least about 4 years or so to do another game. So I would like to see what WB has coming up. Now, I know that there's one game that Carlos, he did mention he is very excited to play. This is this Wonder Woman game. I haven't heard a damn thing about this game. So I don't know what they got coming, but they need something.
Yeah, that's right. What's up? Yeah, what's up with that Wonder Woman game? You know, what was their big franchises, Rich? I know it's Mortal Kombat, Batman Arkham. They specifically said that.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, yes. And I believe there was one more in there, but I could be wrong.
I think there is one more.
Yeah. It was like 4 pillars. But I don't know what else they have. But yeah, very interesting stuff.
I think. Is it Game of Thrones or no?
Game
maybe
of Thrones,
it's not.
Yes, Game of Thrones. Yes.
Okay.
Because WB is like their core franchise. Yes, it was Game of Thrones. Yes.
Okay.
All right. But stay tuned. Again, just rumor right now, so take it how you will. But I think it's true. You know. All right. And the last story we're going to talk about tonight. We basically going to give a shout out to Mr. Shuhei Yoshida, man. Been with Sony for 31 years, and he is now retiring from Sony. So, this was one of the key guys that made the PS4 specifically a success, always out there talking to the fans, him and Gio Corsi, Andrew House, guys like that. Our boy, it's a lot.
Adam Boys.
Adam Boys. Why am I blanking on his name right now? The guy who's saying like, "Hey, stop having these big ass budgets."
Andrew House.
No, not Andrew House.
No, not Andrew House.
Why am I forgetting his fucking name? Anyway,
I'm totally blanking on his name too. Anyway, him too. But I mean, like the thing about Shuhei is he was there from the beginning. 31 years.
Yep.
You see it. 31 years. About as long as PlayStation has been around.
Yes,
he has been there. So he was there in the beginning.
Yeah.
Sean
Layden, thank you. Yeah. He was there with Ken Kutaragi and all that, man. The beginning, you know.
And he, there's a nice interview from him from a long time ago that he was talking about the beginnings of PlayStation, how it was essentially just a sort of extension of the music division, and the way they treated their creators is like they treated them like the artists for their music label. Obviously, seems like things have changed since then, but I think, it's a shame to see him go. I said this on Twitter. If Ken Kutaragi was the father of PlayStation, Shuhei Yoshida was probably the heart of PlayStation.
Yeah.
He was somebody that was always there trying to push things, trying to get things to go. There's a lot of love for that guy. Like, as soon as that announcement came out, like every single developer, like from Devolver Digital to Toyama's company, who used to be Japan Studio, a bunch of people put out these really nice tweets and things about him. So he's obviously was a loved, and a very, a loved sort of executive or person, who worked at that studio. So it's unfortunate to see him go, but he did say one thing, he says he's not like leaving the game industry.
No, he's just retiring from Sony. Yeah.
He's just retiring from Sony. So, yeah. It's interesting though, like to think about it. It's like, why retire from Sony? Like, is there something wrong, with the way things are moving now? Maybe he doesn't feel like he can do as much as he could when he had a more what did they call it, a bigger role to play in the play, because the last 5 years he hasn't been part of the main team. He's been part of like the indie development section, where in other words they would pitch to him and he would give notes and stuff. Like part of his division was pretty much what gave birth to Stellar Blade. If you ever look at Stellar Blade is an independent game, and that's one of the things he sort of pulled in. So yeah.
But apparently, this according, we don't really know the real reason, but he says that he felt that, when he hit 30 years, he was like, I think it might be time to, try something else. So that's what he says. So maybe he just generally got figured like, time to move on, J Shep is asking us, what do you think he'll do next? No idea. He's probably going to take some time off, for a while.
Yeah. I mean, maybe take a role that doesn't involve him having to travel a lot, because he does have to travel a lot. He still, as far as I know, I think he still lives in Japan. So he still has to fly out to all these different places to do these different. So it's somewhat sounding somewhat similar, at least from my speculation, it's sounding somewhat similar to why Jimbo decided to retire too.
Yeah, he don't want to do all that traveling. Yeah,
he didn't want to do all that traveling, and I think he, again, like from the side conversation, he had said that maybe it'd be something within the indie division, because he likes the energy of all the creators in that realm. So maybe he might do something, because to this day, the Japanese independent developer, there is not a lot of Japanese independent developers. A lot of people just wind up going to the bigger companies and stuff. So I wonder if he's going to take some sort of role like that, where it'd end up being a sort of a publisher or something to do with something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, that's my guess. He's probably going to do something still within the independent scene, and it probably won't be a big role. Like a senior force, he's not going to go work for Microsoft. That's not going to happen.
No, I don't think he'll work for.
Yeah, I think you're right. He's probably going to stay local, Japan, do some light traveling, and probably do something independent. That's where his heart seems to be, the independent space. So either way, we'll be looking out for what he does next, man. But yeah, shout out to Shuhei Yoshida. Again, he was part of that team, man. And we always had good things to say about him. Well, shout out to him.
Did you ever get to? I think you took a photo with him once, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I got a photo. There was a point I have a photo with like almost all those guys I mentioned. I got photos with all of them. I think Jack Trent's the only one. And Gio, he's our friend. We hung out with him a couple of times. And Andrew House too. We hung out with him.
There was had some really good conversations with him. I'll tell you this, guys.
We talked to Sean Layden too, and Adam Boyes. We talked to
talked to Sean Layden and Adam Boyes. I'll tell you one thing about Andrew House, like as in person, guys. Like for those of you who don't like, you see these sort of executives, sort of like that dude. When you get him off the clock, one of the boys. Totally cool guy, really personable, great person to talk to. Like genuinely interested. Like if you ever heard like Chris talk about like what's his face,
Reggie Fils-Aimé,
where he still feels a little bit robotic. No, Andrew was just like, nah, whatever. Literally talked to the head of PlayStation. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, I will say this though, because okay, for you guys who don't know, I'm a member of the New York Video Game Critics Circle, and Reggie Fils-Aimé is also a member. And every time I talk to him, he comes off like a regular dude, probably because he's not working on Nintendo anymore. I've had a lot of really nice conversations with him, like human conversations, not just like a shill conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like the way Chris described him is not the Reggie I have met, but it makes sense because that was Chris's boss, different thing. Jay Shep, he goes, but Tony, I was told on Twitter that you were a Sony hater. Yeah, that's what they say. I hate Sony. Even though I've hung out with all those guys, all those Sony executives. Yeah, I've never hung out. I mean, Phil Spencer, obviously, I speaking about Phil Spencer and New York Video Game Critics Circle Awards. So he won the Lifetime Achievement Award 2 years ago. So I got to talk to him. Another really good guy. Phil Spencer being real. Even though I do think Microsoft needs to let him go from. Being honest, I don't think he should be running Xbox anymore. He is a genuinely cool dude. He didn't come off fake. I got a picture with him as well. But he's the only Xbox guy. I tried to get a picture with Aaron Greenberg one time. But he was just like, he just waved to me from afar and moved away. I'm like, all right, bro, fuck out of here with that.
Well,
shit.
we did get to talk to
what's his face? Yeah, of course, Major Nelson. He was a good guy
Nelson.
too.
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah. But for you guys who don't know, these are all E3 stories. Manny and I.
These are all E3 stuff.
Yeah, Manny and I and Chris. We've been there quite a few times. And Rich as well, obviously. Good stuff, man. All right. So we're gonna start wrapping things up here, but enough for us. We're not gonna do a holiday gift guide stuff because that's a little too extensive. But is anyone planning on buying anything gaming related during Black Friday, man?
I don't think so. I just spent a lot of money today.
You did. What you mind telling people what you bought, or
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
or is it a
Uh-oh.
secret?
Uh-oh.
So the last couple of days I've been around midday, getting to 2 p.m. kind of. My freaking watch has been like, it's like, oh, 10%. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm not doing
Apple
anything
Watch.
other than just
Apple
wearing
Watch.
it. The
So
Apple
people
Watch,
know,
yeah. And I love the Apple Watch just because of two things. Number one, the biometrics it keeps, with calories burned, steps taken, all of that stuff. Like that's really important for me. And number two, you can answer phone calls with it, and it's like really, really easy. When your phone's not anywhere near you or misplaced it's like, oh, it's just
Press
pretty
that
quick.
shit. Yep.
And so I ended up buying a new Apple Watch. The last one, my old one was from 2019. It was the Series 5, and now I have the Series 10. So it looks kind of the same. It's a little bit thinner, lighter, bigger screen, and brighter. It's pretty nice. Hopefully, it'll last me another 5 years like the old one did.
Yeah. Technically, I bought a bunch of stuff from PlayStation sales the last couple of months, a bunch of fighting games. So I'm going to count those. But Carlos, I'm trying my damnedest not to buy the AirPods Pro. It's actually at its lowest sale right now. But here's the thing. It's not just a frivolous thing. I actually legitimately need new ones because like the right one here is all crackling and fucked up. And it actually kind of physically hurts, So I'm like, I think I actually legitimately need this because I want it anyway. Because if I get this pair of AirPods, I will officially not have any fucking devices with a Lightning port. Finally over. Everything's USB-C. But I also don't want to spend that money. So we'll see what happens. It's $154, which is the lowest price they've been ever.
AirPods Pro 2?
Yes, with the and it's the updated ones, with the how it could actually like give you the hearing test and all that shit. So that's a good price, man. $154.
That's a really good. So here's the thing. I also have the AirPods Pro 2, and I use them every day, man. So do I. And it's great for just, and especially for you, since you're in the city, canceling out noise.
Oh, yeah.
It's great for that.
Yeah, ANC is great, It's funny, man. Go ahead. No, the times I've like left because I pretty much live in the city effectively, right? Every time I leave my crib and like I forget, I have forgotten to charge my things. I'm like, yo, it is fucking loud around here because I got this train running and everything, So I let you know I don't notice this stuff when I got them on,
I was when I was in New York, there was construction right next to me.
There's construction happening every fucking morning, right? Literally right down the block. These motherfuckers,
And these dudes are diligent. They start at 7 a.m. every time.
Every time. Manny, remember when you were here? I was like, Manny, get ready, 7 a.m. Motherfucker's gonna start. Carlos on the dot. Motherfucker.
Yep, on the dot
already.
They are not, because obviously I guess it's the New York guidelines. They can't start any earlier.
Yeah,
it's union. It's also
the union,
too. So.
Yeah,
and also because of the union at 6, those motherfuckers are done.
So what I ended up doing, because they were, it was during the weekdays when this would happen, because if I wake up at 7, that's like waking up at 5 a.m. my local time, and I would work. So I'm like, I would just wake up late and then get breakfast and then, and then go to work. So at 7 a.m. I would hear them starting to get noises, and I would wake up, get the AirPods, put them in, put the tinge loud white noise, things from Spotify, and that's all you need.
That's all you need.
And that's all you need.
Yeah. So again, I'll try not to, but I actually do legitimately need them, man. The crackling is getting pretty painful now, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I'm an idiot. I'm like, yeah, I can handle the pain. I'm a man, you know.
your ears all bleeding and shit.
You know, like fucking man, don't be a pussy, bro.
Like,
this is why motherfuckers. This is why men
fine.
don't live as long as women, because we're like, fuck that, man. It's causing me pain. Just take more of it. I'm a fucking man, bruh. You know,
it's a brute force method.
It is. It really is. All right. Anybody else buying any? You know what? Just fucking. Are you buying anything for Black Friday? Let's open it up completely.
I've been eyeing Sandland from Namco's website, because it's so the collector's edition of Sandland from that you can get from Namco's site, Namco Bandai, comes with an action figure of the main character. Currently, if you want to buy Sandland and it's for half, so it's like $50. So you get for $50 you get a game and a figure. Before it was $100, both of them together. If you want to buy the two things separately, it will cost more than that. Yeah. So like they have a figure that it's like $60 figure, and then the game is probably about $60 to $50. So that's way more. So I'm like, I've been eyeing it because I'm like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. That, and I've been looking on Amazon for a couple of different things. And nothing as extravagant as a pair of new AirPods or anything like that, but just like little things that I had on the wish list for a while,
Yeah. Brett, are you planning getting anything for Black Friday?
Groceries.
There you go. Are they discounted for Black Friday?
I wish, but no.
Fucking hell, man.
Food's expensive, man.
It is. That is like a Black Friday. They need that a discount, Damn, Carlos is 153 right now, son.
There you go. The temptation's real.
See, that's why I was just like, gotta wait,
Tim Cook is all right, we gotta mess up Tony's left earbud.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yo,
go ahead.
So here's the thing. Black Friday, man. This is, we say this every year for the last 3 to 5 years. It's getting ridiculous. You don't even know when the hell Black Friday is anymore. It's not even on Fridays. It's like last week, it's like Black Friday specials, Black Friday sales, and I'm like, bro, this thing is next week.
Yo, okay. Because, my site, Tom's Guide, we cover Black Friday. I've been covering this shit for 3 weeks now. I'm not even exaggerating, bro.
It's crazy. And the thing that sucks about it is you don't know, is the deal right now better than what that's going to be on Friday? Or, are these things going to sell out by the time, they get to Friday? So it's weird. It's a different system now.
Fuck, I don't want to buy these, Carlos, but I might have to,
Don't tempt me, Frodo.
Yeah, so we'll see. Because I do have a pair of Sony earbuds, but they don't really pair well, man. You
have to connect them every time.
Yeah, and then because they work fine, but it's I can't even pause it and shit. It's I would have to take out my phone, or I don't even know if they work like that, on my watch or something. This is how Apple gets you, bro. The ecosystem.
That's how they get you,
motherfuckers, man. Rich, what about you? You planning on buying anything for Black Friday?
Well, yes. First and foremost, I do plan to pick up a copy of Dragon Age: The Veilguard for Carlos and Chris, because I know that you guys are very interested in the game. So that we're going to start off with that.
Yeah. Oh, Rich, by the way, J Shep let me know that your favorite game, Flop Stars, is on sale. So
there you go.
Well, there you go. I absolutely will be able to let someone else know actually play that game. No, not me though. Not me. But no, but seriously, I have some decisions to make. I need to get a Steam Deck because
there you go.
I feel like going into this year, especially a lot of games, and I think it's about time we get a Steam Deck so that I have another place to play these games aside from my computer. So that to me makes the most logical sense. But I also need to get a TV as well. So, yeah, I have to make some decisions about that. I'm not buying both at the same time, but I am 1,000% sure I'm probably going to get the Steam Deck because I do plan to do a lot of traveling next year. So I definitely will need something. But we'll see. I don't really think there's any deals. You buy them directly on Steam, so I don't really know if they have any sale per se.
So I got to do some research. Too, I believe another Steam sale. So look out for that. Yeah. The time might be perfect, Rich. You got a Steam Deck and there's a Steam sale.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Sandland is $20 at Best Buy. So Manny, there you go.
Yeah, but it does. That's the game alone.
Okay, yeah, you want other stuff. Yeah,
that's the game alone. The thing is, you get to get the cool action figure.
Got to get that action
figure. The action figure is currently $60 if you're going to a place like Big Bad Toy Store or an Amazon.
Oh shoot!
I spent the whole weekend playing with my figures.
Yeah.
J-Shep, wasn't Bandai Namco in the news recently? I think they were, but I don't remember for what. I could look it up real quick. I know what you're talking about. They were in the news. I don't remember for what though. Go ahead, Carlos.
So just quick for Rich. The Steam Deck is on sale, but the LCD version, not the OLED. So if you're interested in that,
buy that
25% off, which is kind of decent.
Yeah. Thank you for that information, Carlos. I do agree with Tony. I need to go for the OLED.
Oh, are you gonna go for the white one?
If it is still available.
Yeah, is it like limited edition?
If it's still available, because I know it's sold out.
It says buy now. It says estimated delivery date 3 to 5 business days.
Okay, well there you go. That might be it. They might do it.
The Snow Bunny edition.
Snow Bunny. Oh man, J-Shep, was it about Sparking Zero being the best-selling Dragon Ball game? Is that it?
Oh,
that's
really
Rich. Did anybody on the Coalition review that game? Sparking Zero.
No, I was sent the game, so I may have something to say about it.
Okay.
I may definitely because this. Would they need to send out stuff for consideration for end of the year awards, etc.
Yeah. Okay. So that was what he was referring to. That Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is Bandai Namco's third best-selling game and the best-selling Dragon Ball game. That's kind of cool, but I'm just being honest. Most of us love Dragon Ball on this podcast. We don't like Dragon Ball Z games. The only Dragon Ball Z game I like is Fighters Z, and the reason for that is not because it's Dragon Ball Z, is because its motherfucking Arc system works. It's like, wait, a Dragon Ball game with Guilty Gear graphics and controls? Give me that shit. And so, you know what? Easily the best Dragon Ball Z fighting game ever. Not only that, one of the best fighting games of all time. But Dragon Ball itself, the games, not so much. I reviewed Kakarot, and I even kind of replayed some of it this year. To give honor to Mr. Toriyama. And I'm like, yeah, no, these fucking Dragon Ball games, bro. I don't like any of them. They just control so bad. Fucking Budokai and shit like that. Never liked those games.
They suffer. They suffer through the Superman the 3D Superman syndrome.
Yeah,
when it comes to video games.
Yeah, it's like these characters don't make good video game characters, bro. They're too fucking powerful, and you have to dumb them down to be in a proper video game, which sucks the fun out of it. And the controls are all janky and fucked up. Not janky, they're too loose and weird, Like, I don't know. Now, again, love me some Dragon Ball. I specifically, we talked about when Akira Toriyama passed, for 15 minutes, we had a whole segment on him. Wasn't even video game related, mostly. But I was like, this is how much that shit meant to us. But the games, not so much,
Not so much.
How much did this fucking game sell? 3 million copies were sold in 24 hours. God damn.
Oh, damn.
So how much does this shit sell since then? That's crazy, bro. But yeah, so we're a Dragon Ball fan. Heard some controversy about that fucking game though. You know, because you could actually go online, and a lot of people are just cheating and disconnecting and shit. Yeah, what do you expect, man? What the fuck do you expect?
I got some good news for Rich.
Flop stars are free.
No. Speaking of Steam sales, Star Wars Outlaws is on sale, minus 25%. I know you're looking forward to playing that game.
No, Carlos, you are very mistaken. Especially after our good friend. No, we've heard that it does not run good on Steam Deck right now. I'm not going to be patient enough to wait for it to run Deck properly, so I will have to pass on that one, sir.
Yeah. So the autumn sale ends on December 4th, which is next week. So gotta act fast, on Steam.
Gotta do it.
Gotta do it.
Yeah. There's a lot of shit here. So I'll have to check my wish list, see if anything's on sale right now. Actually, I could probably check wish list. Where the fuck is it? I'm looking at here it is. I'm looking at the browser version. I'm like, where the fuck is everything? Nothing on here is on sale. God damn it. Oh, wait, I'm wrong. Hey, I could send you a sacrifice, bro.
How much is that?
$32 is too much,
Wait, that's the first one, right?
No, excuse me, Hellblade 2. Hellblade 2.
Oh.
$32. The fuck is yeah, what's up?
Well, hold on a second. Wasn't that game $50 at launch?
Yes.
That ain't that much of a sale.
Yeah, it's $35.
$32.
Yeah.
Oh no, they can go lower than that.
Yeah, you can. It really
They need a barter system in this Steam thing.
Yeah, so Hellblade, I don't care about this game anymore. I'll remove that. I lost interest. All right, man. So that's gonna do it for this non-numbered episode of Throwdown. It's just a regular episode, Yep. But yeah, we want to wish all our American fans a happy Thanksgiving. Hope you guys eat a lot of food, hang out with the family, drink and be merry and all that good stuff. And we will be here on the Sunday show as normal, That'll also be a number. That'll just be a regular show too. So start getting your gaming questions in. And then the week after, what's up?
One quick thing. We said we were going to do a giveaway. That's going to be on the Throw Down Your Question episode.
Okay.
We're going to be giving away a copy of Marvel vs. Capcom collection with some other Street Fighter and Marvel related goods.
Nice.
So
I might be entering that one.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say this now. J-Shep, you're disqualified from this one for obvious reasons,
Yeah,
you won the big prize, bruh.
You got the big booby prize.
You got the big prize. Yeah, let the other motherfuckers have a chance, But yeah, so we'll do that on Sunday. That'll be good. And then the week after that will be the last normal show of the year, because after that it'll be the Game Awards show and then the year-end special, bruh. It's gonna be crazy.
Jeez.
The year's already ending. Ain't that something? Try to get Adam on that show, that'll be good. Oh yeah, Jay Sheps goes, I was already thinking that. Plus I already got Marvel vs. Capcom. There you my man.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. But he was being honorable. He was already thinking about it, I thought you giving away Concord. We don't hate you guys, man. We like you guys.
No,
You're giving away that trash.
We don't want to give away a game that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sony's giving away Concord.
Damn. When they gave away the studio.
Sony's not giving it away either. They recalled it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's coming back free to play.
Probably. Is it still on PSN by any chance?
No, it's all gone.
You can't even. Wow, bro.
You can't even buy it. You can't do anything with it.
You can't do nothing.
Breaking news. The Game of the Year award nominee Belantro is on special for the Steam sales from $14.99 to $12.74. Any of those are interested?
Yeah, I'm good.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm still.
What's that? I never heard of it.
You know what's funny? When I told people that I went on Twitter and I'm like, hey, there goes the Game Awards again, always throwing some random fucking indie game into the Game of the Year mix. People were legit mad that I never heard of this fucking game. how do you not know about it? Everyone talks about it. I'm like, bruh, I hang out with fucking gamers. I hang out in our Discord that's full of nothing but gamers. None of these motherfuckers have heard of this game, you know? So I don't know who you're hanging with, you know? You're not hanging out with real motherfucking gamers, you know? And then when I find out, oh, it's a mobile game, no wonder none of us have heard about that shit. We play real games around here, sir, you know? Crazy. I can order it on the Shop My Exchange military store, Concord. Oh wow, buy it. Buy it, bruh. See what happens.
That's a very limited edition.
You know?
Yeah, you can have it just unopened and sitting on your shelf and pull it out when you watch the Amazon special.
There you go, yeah. Yeah. All right, man. Rich, anything happening on the coalition?
Yes, there's quite a bit of things happening. Most right now, if you go to the coalition.com, you see I did a of Sniper Elite Resistance. This game is coming out January 30th. So yeah, I had an opportunity to have a hands-on last week. So great game. Pretty much more of Sniper Elite 5, but the main protagonist is a character that was a side character in Sniper Elite 5. But yeah, awesome game. Check out the preview if you want some more details. And next week, we have quite a bit of things coming to the coalition.com. Some reviews, some previews, certain stuff I can't talk about, but I will just say you will definitely want to visit the website next week. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. All right. Before we go, again, because I always have Twitter open. So Tencent put out this game, or will be putting out this game called The Light of Motiram. And when I saw this shit, bro, I thought it was Horizon Zero Dawn. Robot dinosaurs and everything in a fucking jungle. Even the color scheme is Horizon. Wow. Hey, look at that. You play as a redheaded woman, right? Riding on a fucking robot something, fighting robot dinosaurs in a jungle. Wow, bro. It's crazy. I wonder if Sony's going to be like, that kind of looks like our shit, bro. Oh, wow. Yeah, they're all tribal people. That's crazy. All right, we'll see what happens. Anyway, we're done here, so make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, and join the Discord. Links to everything down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Brett Murdoch.
Deuces.
And Richard Bailey Jr.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
All right, guys, we'll be back on Sunday later.